So let's switch gears here. MNet Solutions, right? This is your business. Talk about it. What do you do? How do you help people? And what people can reach out to you for with MNet Solutions.
It's it's actually pronounced Met.
Oh,
M
sorry.
M E. Oh, no problem, no problem. Pronounced MMET, Met. And what we do is, I mean, of course, ever since the 2008, you know, financial crash, small businesses have been hurting. You have banks that don't want to loan to certain businesses for whatever they find on the credit report. Um, Met Solutions, our goal is to make sure that you don't feel left out from that. We don't want you to go to, and I don't want to name any banks because I don't want to give anybody free publicity, but you don't want to go to more traditional banks and beg for a loan and beg for literally months to sometimes get somewhere. Uh, we take away some of that pain by offering alternative funding. We have a vast array of lenders that are lenders and investors who are ready at a moment's notice to say, "Hey, let's start this. Let's help you start this business, or sustain your business, or expand your business." So we offer things such as lines of credit, secured and unsecured. So secured, of course, you have to put something up. Um, Not something you have to do, but we offer that. We also offer, one of our biggest draws are merchant cash advances, or what they call MCAs. And a lot of people don't really know what that is, but what an MCA is, merchant cash advance, a lender will come to you and say, "Hey, how much revenue do you make a month?" And whatever, whether it be $2,000 or $2 million, they'll say, "Okay, we will give you funding, and how you will pay us back is that we will take a percentage of your revenue, whether it be daily, weekly, or monthly." So they're basically buying your future revenue. That way, it isn't going to. And so, what I think is the best benefit to that, you'll never overextend yourself. If they're only going off of the revenue that you got coming in, then whatever goes out isn't going to hurt as much as if you go to a bank and you're like, "I want $3 million. Well, how much do you make? 2,000 a month. Good. Your credit, no, your credit rating can mess that up easily."
Yeah. You're never going to get a payment that you can't afford, basically.
Right. So it goes off the revenue of your business. I call it the strength or the profile of your business.
Okay.
So if your business is strong enough, if it has enough revenue, you've been in business long enough, and it differs depending on everybody's financial situation. But depending on the strength of your business and how long depending on how long you've been in business, everything else, then we can find a lender that suits you best. One thing I try to get people to understand is that sometimes what we call rates, but it's an interest rate, the fees. It's You can equate it to interest rates on loans. A lot of people look at, now MCAs have higher interest rates. They're not we don't call them interest rates. They're just fees. But when you go to get an MCA, and when they look at some of those fees, they're like, "Oh my God, these are high." Well, one, those fees are 100% tax deductible, 100%. So anything over the amount that you borrowed is tax deductible, period. And it's tax deductible every year that you have it.
Wow.
So if it's 2 years in a row, it's tax deductible every year.
So companies can write
Also,
off their fees.
yeah, you can write off all the fees associated with that MCA. Another thing with it, not only can you write off all of those fees, but let's say you're in a bind and your business is hurting. You don't want to close your doors. You got like maybe a month left. You can't do payroll. That's exactly what the MCA is for. We can get you funded within 24 hours
Wow.
from the time that you're approved to the time, and I don't mean funded like they tell you you'll get the money, from the time you're approved to the time the money is deposited into your bank account, 24 hours.
Wow.
Now, other lenders may go a little longer to 72 hours. But yes, you're not talking about weeks or months. We're talking days or literally hours, basically, with an MCA.
Wow.
Another great, for me, another great advantage to an MCA, like I said before, is revenue based. So don't worry about, oh, if I get this loan, will I be able to pay my thing? No, they only take a percentage, not a flat rate. And let me tell you the difference. If it says 10, if I'm just giving a number, let's say your rate, let's say your return rate is 5%, meaning that every week they're going to take 5% of your revenue and pay it back. You don't have, there's no figuring out to that. If you made $30,000 that week, you know 5% of that 30,000 is going back to pay that debt. You can actually work that out. Well, when it pays back, some people say, I want to pay it back every day. So what happens is automatically that 5% comes out of your bank account at the end of the day. You don't have to keep up with anything actually. Now it's just good business to do it. So just in case there are any mistakes, because like anybody else, somebody pushed the wrong button or put a zero in where it's not supposed to go, then we need to start talking to people and getting things figured out. Well, that's the simplicity of the program. So I love it because it opens up the door to a lot more small businesses. Let's say your business is strong, but you're just going through a tough time. That's the best way to go. Now, we also offer SBAs, Small Business Administration Loans. I love these as well. They're not as flexible as MCAs. They're not as flexible, but they do open you up to a number, but they're just the same thing. Now they take a little longer to get. Sometimes it's about 2 weeks before we can get you funded after you have been approved. And I want to stress, not when you submit your paperwork, but once you're approved. Because sometimes, and this is with SBAs and with MCAs, they may need more information. They may come back and say, I want tax returns. We need a longer history of bank statements. We need instead of just getting your credit scores, we need a credit report. It's a number of things they may ask for. Because in all honesty, even though the program is a little more lenient in their requirements, they are a lot more, they'll dig a little deeper for certain things because they're not just looking at a credit score like traditional banks. They want to know, hey, how strong is this business? They look at your non-sufficient funds, if you've had so many of those, if your account has been in the negative for so long. And let me tell you, I've had guys who've been in the negative for a week, 2 weeks, and this is running a business. They still got an MCA.
Wow.
So even though they're looking at it, these underwriters know what they're looking for, though. They're not just, they literally, and I know this is going to sound like a horrible marketing gimmick. They want to give you this money. They really do. Most of these lenders, they're trying to make it as, I have approved people with a credit score of 500.
Wow.
500 credit score and making 10,000 a month in revenue. But when your credit score is 500, you're done. I can't think of a bank that'll look at you. I have lenders that are like 500. All the scores above 500, 500 or above. Yes, send over the paperwork because they are looking to help you.
Yeah.
And that's why I love this business because that's what I'm looking to do. We also offer credit card processing. We offer lower rates than most others, and I think for me, that's where it actually is a consumer. Um, it's on the consumer to benefit from that because most places where people know it or not, that little surcharge, that's to pay for that credit card processing that they have to pay for. So they have to offset some of that money. So they pass it on to the customer. When you get to a point to where you can save money as a business owner in passing that price on, some of them don't even pass the price on because they're like, this is perfect. We can pay for this. It doesn't hurt us. And we can pass the savings on to our consumers. So the credit card processing, that's another big one. For the businesses that I primarily deal with are restaurants, hospitality industry, and the cannabis industry. For these three, equipment is a huge thing. So we offer equipment financing. If let's say you're trying to do a food truck and your oven in your food truck is shot, your refrigerator doesn't cool, to the 47 to the 42 degrees that it's supposed to be, for all meat and chicken and things like that, you're going to need that equipment. Well, what if you don't have that money in a bulk? Listen, you don't have that money sitting in a bank somewhere. We offer equipment financing so you can actually get that and build up your food truck. We've had people actually buy food trucks because they're like, okay, well, I don't have the money for this and don't have the money for this. They bought a food truck. So, and that's great for certain restaurants because they may want to reach a different demographic, or might want to reach out to different communities. So if a restaurant buys a food truck, we can help them out. And that's another service that we offer.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who have food trucks and like food businesses that are just getting started, or I might have to refer them out to you, or at least talk to you because you could help them out.
Bring them, bring them, bring them. I will gladly accept.
Yes.
Um, it's kind of in my blood. My mother did low income housing and a beauty salon. She had a thrift store. The idea of just helping people, everybody can't go everywhere and spend their whole paycheck on something. It's not feasible. So I love the fact that I'm able to help people uh, who, you know, usually of no fault of their own, their business just isn't producing what they need it to. And everybody needs that little help. And when traditional banks are like, no, we don't want to take a risk on you, I say, please come to Met Solutions. We will have your business needs met, period.
There you
We
go.
definitely will. We will have your business needs met. That's a phrase that comes from my mother. She would always say, you got to meet the need of the people, and she would say, you have to meet the demands, and my mother was a very, very God fearing woman. And she would say, I want to meet whatever challenge God has put before me. So that always rang in my head. And I was like, no, this is Met Solutions. We're on the other side of that. Not just gonna meet it, it's gonna be met. And so that's why I tell people, have your business needs met with us.
That's awesome.
You know,
So do you just help local businesses, or is this like across the country type of thing?
Actually international. I
Okay.
can help I have been well, I can help people in the UK, Canada, and Australia.
Okay.
So, and is nationwide here. So, like I said, for some of your listeners that are in the UK or that are in Australia or in Canada, we can help them out as well. I work with Canadian lenders, UK lenders, and we also help with real estate purchases as well. So, if you're looking to buy a swath of land, or if you're looking to cultivate a part of land that you already have, um, if you're trying to do that through your business, we can help you there as well.
Wow, that sounds awesome. So you
Yeah,
basically help out all the people that, and even the people that do, but it's you try to help out the people that have a harder time qualifying with the big major lenders, and get them creative financing that'll help get their business off the ground, and that is affordable and won't put them out, won't make them go broke because the repayment is also flexible as well.
right, right. And one thing I know, and I can say this about the lenders that I work with. Um, if you need someone to work with you, I have had numerous, because once you're approved and you're funded, I'm out of the process. I'm out of it. But I still have people who will come to me. I, I, I'm drowning. I can't make the payment. Call them. I can't have them take my business. Call them. Call them, because they do not make money taking away your business. That's the best way I can put it. They will not make any money taking away your business.